A few months ago, I took a train from Edinburgh, Scotland, down to the borders between Scotland and England. I was heading to an event. It wasn't some race or autograph session. It was a community celebrating a legend. 2025 would be the 60th anniversary of Jim Clark's second and most spectacular World Championship. Clark would win 6 out of 8 entered races that season and would also win the Indianapolis 500, let alone a European and British Formula 2 World Championship. So, why was I invited and what did I see? This celebration of Jim Clark's life would highlight also the achievement he gave to the local town of Dun, Scotland, and also how his family members honour him to this day. So, the story begins with me in Scotland. Pretty cold morning, and I was waiting for a train. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't look around the place. I was there for a day before. Saw Edinburgh Castle, a lot of the parks. Beautiful place, I'll definitely go there again. However, it wasn't the bustling city I was after. I had to go down south, closer to England than to Edinburgh. I first had to get a train to Berwick-upon-Tweed, and then a lift down to Dun, Scotland. The celebration would last 2 days and would include a lot of Jim Clark's old cars, and also a lot of well-known racing personalities would be there as well. However, I arrived the day before to meet an old friend who I met the last time I went to Scotland. Now, if you didn't watch my last video, which was a few months ago, which was also my most recent trip, I went to Dun, Scotland to uncover a little bit more of the personal life of Jim Clark. And because of a minor accident involving a kitchen knife, I was fine. I think I still have the scars from that. But I became acquainted to Doug Niven, who is Jim Clark's cousin. Doug is 10 years younger than Clark, but they both had an amazing relationship together before he passed away. Doug actually lived in Clark's house before he died, and he actually remembers a lot of Jim's racing experience, I think almost all of it, and unfortunately remembers the passing of a great legend. And to honour Clark, Doug has been super involved in the Jim Clark Trust. He gave me this little pin here. I think I can't really get it focused. There we go. He also gave me the dates for Clark's celebration weekend, and I was looking forward to it for over a year. And also, Doug gave me a lift to and from. I met Doug only briefly because they had to go to a dinner right before the weekend started. I did have the chance to give him a bottle of Jameson anyway, so as a thank you for last time. And, well, he offered to give me a lift again to the event, this time at Dun's Castle. Now, Dun's Castle is a very period place, and it's an amazing place for weddings, but also, well, motor racing events. Anyway. So the first day arrived, and Doug needed to get there a little bit early before the crowds came in. So I went in with him, and it was amazing because it was very quiet, very calm, maybe a bit of calm before the storm, the best way to put it as. And well, I really wanted to help out. So I asked Doug, oh, can I help out just setting up some things? And he was all right. So I remember putting up a gazebo for the Jim Clark Trust, in the rain, by the way, with his grandson. Now, his grandson was a few years older than me, very nice man. And the weird thing was, he knew absolutely nothing about Jim Clark. May I just say this? Jim Clark's grandnephew didn't really know that much. And he was only kind of racing from association, as Doug, if you didn't know, also was a racing driver. He did super saloons. And there was at some points I was explaining to his grandson some things about his grand-uncle, which he found amazing. And actually, I told him about my previous video, and he watched it, and he absolutely enjoyed it, so hi. And, well, I remember putting up this gazebo with him, and it was a fun experience, you know, but it was cold, it was raining, and I was wearing this exact jacket. And the problem was, I have no hood, as you can see. No hood whatsoever. So, I was cold, I was wet, but dear God, it was worth it. An amazing experience, and I'll trade it for absolutely nothing. And when we put up this gazebo then, I was then allowed to look around before the crowd started coming. And I just saw in front of me just another tent with Jim Clark's Indianapolis Lotus car, a later one, because they couldn't bring the one he used in 1965. Also was a Lotus 18, which Jim Clark used in his junior racing and his first few seasons in Formula One. And a Lotus 49, which I was gobsmacked. I was just like... So it was very weird. And actually the first thing I said when I saw it was, I was racing this on the sim a few days ago, which is just very weird. Now, why were there Lotus Formula One cars there and Indy cars? Well, a couple of them came from Classic Team Lotus, run by Clive Chapman, and I met him on the second day. Very nice man, and he is the spitting image of his father, and he does so much work to keep the Lotus legacy alive, and I recommend look him up. It's amazing. Look up Classic Team Lotus, and you'll see the amazing work they're doing. And the amazing thing was, we were allowed very up close to these cars. Like, over the 2 days, the crowds, there was no problem with anyone damaging the cars. No car was damaged whatsoever, because everyone took it with so much respect, so much privilege. We were next to these cars that we can touch the tires. Now, there wasn't like, let's climb in. It was, you know, an unspoken rule. And I really just appreciate how they were just displayed, and I got a couple of photos as well. I'll show them later because I bought something on near the end of the first day, which I was kind of proud of myself. Anyway, the sun started to show a bit more, and my hair was drying, and that's when the crowd started coming. And the event was absolutely amazing the first day, because I met some truly amazing people who absolutely loved Clark's legacy. Now, some other cars on display was Clark's Lotus Elan. I actually sat in the Lotus Elan that Clark had in Paris last year, and it's owned by Doug, and he drove it in the day before. And the amount of people just looking around it was amazing, and I was just thinking in the back of my head, oh my God, I sat in that car. Like, it was an amazing opportunity, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Doug, and this was an amazing passion project from him to honor his cousin and seeing the cars displayed and everything. Now, another thing I did notice as well was a long, bloody line of Cortinas. Now, if you don't know about the Lotus Cortina, it was a collaboration between Lotus and Ford, the Ford Cortina, very common car in the 60s and 70s. My mother, actually, when she was growing up, my grandparents' car was a Lotus Cortina, so she has some fond memories going to the beach in a Cortina. So, a little bit of a personal thing as well. There was one of them, these Cortinas had a BRM engine, and the guy who actually owned it, he used to own the H16 Lotus BRM. These were something that's a story for another day. And the Cortinas are a beautiful car, and there's an amazing little thing about them because Clark raced them in the Saloon Car Championships. In 1965, He nearly won the British Saloon Car Championship, which he won the year before in 1964. And an interesting thing about the Cortina was, because when you cornered it, one of the tires would usually go up in the air, and it was an amazing car that Clark used his skills to harness the full potential of it. And one of them was a special project between Lotus and BRM to honor, well, the Lotus BRM project, which happened when the 3-litre engine formula came back into Grand Prix racing. So I was just looking at these Cortinas in a line. One of them was also in a bank robbery as well, which is interesting, but a couple of them were some Clark race, a couple of them were sold by Lotus themselves, and it was just one of so many things that was a part of the Jim Clark story. Another thing I saw as well was his Porsche Le Mans car. I saw it in the Jim Clark Museum the year before, but seeing it out in the sun was amazing, and the people looking at it, and it was the car that got Clark second place in Le Mans, and well, that's the one great motor race Jim Clark never won, and it's just a beautiful machine. And there was also another Jaguar Le Mans car as well. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I'll have it right there. Yeah, look how smart I am, you know. Anyway, and it was right there, and it was actually a rebuild. And the person I was talking to who owned it, we were actually talking about how maybe car brands should be doing this more often. So, one amazing thing about this event as well, apart from, well, cars, was also the music. They had some sort of period 1950s post-war singers. Like, they were, you know, a little bit older than me, and they were amazingly keeping this legacy alive of this type of music, and it was always in the background. It was amazing. There would probably be a clip right now of it in the background, and it added a new sense to everything. And well, when the event started, Doug made a nice speech. I'll put the clip as well somewhere, but it really had the legacy of Clark in it, and just again showing Doug's passion for everything. So I had another look around. There was so much around. It took a couple of hours ago, but there was also a section of just Lotuses, of like stuff from up until recently as well with the Lotus projects, and I can't even name everything off the top of my head. It was amazing. I think there was about 80 cars there, and there was also another section parked further away was a lot of the Porsches. There was like a Porsche club there as well, and it was just a fantastic experience seeing people with their cars and talking about a legend. And well, I kept having a nice look around, and there's stuff for sale, but I was going to wait till the second date until I buy anything. Oh boy, I was wrong. Anyway, I was just going through everything, and there was going to be a car run with these Lotus cars. In our gazebo, actually, there was a couple of the Formula 2 cars and the Tasman car that Jim Clark also raced in the Tasman Cup, which is sort of a New Zealand Australia World Championship sort of event. Basically 3-litre Formula 1 cars racing down in Oceania. And again, it just shows the design philosophy as well of the monocoque design triumphed by Lotus. And again, these cars were made for Jim Clark, every single one of them, designed around him. And that was just amazing. Now, I don't know if you're going to be seeing this much in my face. I have a lot of footage, and it's amazing. I got about a couple of hours of it. So, if there's any spare videos I have now, perfect time for a montage, I say. Because, well, I have a cup of tea here with my name on it, and I really need it. So it was later in the day, and this car run was now beginning, and I had an amazing opportunity to meet Dario Franchitti. I actually met him a few weeks before in Le Mans. I was at Le Mans for qualifying, which was a unforgettable experience, and I had a chance to meet him again, and he was driving the Lotus 49 down this little route that was like the driveway of this amazing castle, which is Dunn's Castle, and it was a really cool event. It had a whole line of the Tasman cars, the Formula 2 cars, the Lotus 18, the Lotus 49, the Lotus 33 that Clark used to win his 1965 World Championship, and the Lotus 25 as well, and it was amazing. And that's when the sun came out, and it was a fantastic smell of oil and petrol, and it was amazing. And right before that run started, they actually started up the 49 with the Cosworth DFV. Now, I didn't know they were running it, so it was a massive surprise, and it took a while to start it actually, but it was worth the wait. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened, but I think in the shock when the car booted up, that's when I turned off record, and unfortunately I did not get any video of it. I did get video of the Lotus 18 starting as well, which was amazing, but now the Lotus 49, and I'm a little bit upset about it, but I can give you a nice description of it anyway. The car started up, roared, and the musicians, who I mentioned, were still singing, and then it roared, and it was an amazing sound. And then they switched it off then, and then the mechanic who was working with the car was like, "Sorry, girls." So, yeah, he apologized, but dear God, that was an amazing experience. And so I saw these cars running, and it just felt amazing. I felt like I was in the 1960s, in Clark's era. And then when all these cars were parked up again, and I just sat down to have my lunch, I was talking to somebody near the 49 actually. Again, they put it back on display, and there was barely any crowd there, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then I remembered that there was a special guest as well, apart from Dario Franchitti obviously, but the 3-time world champion, Jackie Stewart. And there was a flock around him, and it was an amazing experience, because I just remember walking in that direction, past the sort of display of the Lotus IndyCar and the Lotus 18, and I can see Jackie Stewart just standing there about 6 feet away from me. And it was, wow. But because he was so famous, he's so well known, I was sort of waiting till the end to talk to him, because, well, there's so many fans, and I did not want to interrupt him one bit. And I was just having a nice look around then, because, well, everything was quiet. And I'll talk about another business card I got right now. So, yeah, this is a AV-Art Design. I will hide the phone number, I say, but I'll leave the website up. Yeah, it's, well, basically they were selling stuff from the Concorde, from parts to cutlery that was used on the flights, and it was very cool, very tempting. It was actually my parents' dream to fly on the Concorde, but never got the chance, unfortunately. But my parents, who flew in between Heathrow and San Francisco a lot, they remember seeing the Concorde all parked up, and it's a beautiful machine. Now, this is not an aviation channel, but it's amazing they had an aviation sort of section. Also, in that sort of same area, there was some live painting going on with a painter doing some Jim Clark art. I think I'll get a couple of photos and videos there anyway. And it was very quiet because everyone was at Jackie Stewart, because, well, it's Jackie Stewart. And I was just having a nice ball, just being a bit quiet, because I was very nervous. And I was tapped on the shoulder then about 10 minutes later, and it was Jackie Stewart was leaving. It was Doug's grandson, because Doug was showing Stewart around, and basically he said to me, "Oh, Doug wants you for 2 minutes there. he wants you to meet Jackie. So I was really nervous, and I think Doug gave a good word for me. I think he knew about my social media, and he told Jackie Stewart a little bit about me. So I went up to Jackie, and it was very weird. I just shook his hand, and I was like, it's an honor to meet you. And that's when everything just went blank. All these questions about Clark, everything gone. Like, I was meeting a legend, someone who I idolized, and very nice man. And basically asked, oh, how old are you then? And I was like, oh, I'm 20. And he was like, bit of a beard for a 20-year-old. Because I had a beard at the time. And so we were only talking about my former facial hair for a good bit. And I had the opportunity to get a photo with him as well when he was leaving. And he was so kind to the people around him. It took him about 40 minutes to get past the crowd when he was leaving. And there's this distinct image now engraved in my mind with him out of the passenger door of his car, waving to the crowd goodbye. And that was amazing. Amazing experience and an amazing end to the first day. Well, I did get one thing, and it involves me doing a little bit of walking, so I need to get that there. I also bought this as well. Actually, got this as well. A little armband, but I can actually put that on now. Actually, put on the other arm. Anyway, I also got this. A flat cap. Like, it's tartan, and it's meant to look like something Jim Clark had. He wore these frequently, and Doug actually was wearing this as one of these as well, so I bought it. And the proceeds went to the Jim Clark Trust, so for the rest of the video. I think this fits. You know what, when I'm putting this on, montage or something, I don't know. So this one racing Le Mans, yeah? Oh, it's only a replica.
In 2010.
Yeah, and you have...
in Taupo, that was North Island, New Zealand.
So, the second day arrived, and now with a hat, I felt just amazed still by the people around. And it was the same stuff as the day before with the car runs. However, I took a little bit more time to talk to people and also record a lot of the other cars around me. And again, fantastic experience. Now, I couldn't stay as long as the last time because I had to get a train back to Edinburgh for my flight back. So I had to, well, be a bit quick on my feet, and I met some more amazing people. Another thing I also saw was a glasses company. I'll get the name of the glasses somewhere there as well. I can't remember again on top of my head, but these were a glasses brand that Jim Clark actually had used. Kind of a bit like a sponsored deal, a bit like how you see Ray-Ban on Ferrari drivers, you know. And futuristic, amazing, and they were very expensive glasses as well for sunglasses. And they're about £600. However, they had bits of components of Jim Clark's cars in it, which is amazing. Again, if you had the money. Yeah. And also another exhibit on was a lot of these mini Formula One cars, and a couple of them were like Indy cars or Ferraris. And these car brands actually hired this person to build them. And they were about 30 grand for a 1.8 model, which is just amazing about the detail. And again, that was amazing. I actually had lunch as well in the Jim Clark Bistro, which is an amazing part of Duns. And actually, to talk a bit about Duns, the local essence around Clark is amazing. From the local museum to the bistro. Two things, but dear God, it's all surrounded around Clark's legacy. And what an amazing legacy he had in 1965. And the rest of that day, it was sort of just reminiscing about this legend. Like, he won so many races that season. The Indianapolis 500, the Formula One World Championship, and how the town of Dun, Scotland honoured that legacy. And well, Doug Niven, amazing man, and I feel like you can write a book on him about how much he's done on his legacy, on his cousin's legacy, this amazing legacy in that village. And just 60 years since he won that championship is just mind-boggling. It's been 60 years, and Doug is still talking about it.